yada, 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 whatever. If you are a billionaire, you can find money and bridge gaps to make sure that in the short term you get the deal done because in the long term it's going to make you money.
Right.
So the fact that you're turning down a deal where you got 600 million in public financing to start with, probably would result in close to $1 billion with land. The fact that you're turning that down is problematic and probably signals that he is likely to sell.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And it is your boy, Evan Closky.
Back again, and we always appreciate it. The fans love the Closky Meister. They're always gung-ho when he joins the pod. Before we get into the topics of the day, Ulises, do we need to tell the audience something important?
Well, thank you all for making Locked On Rays your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On Rays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right.
Good read, Ulises. Good read.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Try to. Very good. Inside joke there. Inside baseball. Evan, there have been some articles and scuttlebutt about a possible Rays sale to a group of Tampa-based investors. Jeff Passan actually published an article which outlined some of the mechanics with that. And I'm just going to read a segment of that piece here. He writes, Tampa area investors who, according to sources, are talking about trying to buy the team but are not close to any deal, believe that Hillsborough County, quote, would be more amenable to offering public funding for a new stadium to a local ownership group, end quote, than to current principal owner Stuart Sternberg, who is originally from New York. So, Evan, I guess the conversation starts off with, how serious is a possible sale right now to a group of Tampa-based investors? How is this really what Stu Sternberg wants to do, or what he has to do?
I don't know if we're in the world of wants. I think there's only so many decisions he can do at this point. He's got a new stadium deal in his hand. All you got to do is say yes, right? And so by turning that down, that already signals a problem. I don't care whatever the scuttlebutt might be on the $150 million, the cost overruns, yada, 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 whatever. If you are a billionaire, you can find money and bridge gaps to make sure that in the short term you get the deal done because in the long term it's going to make you money.
Right.
So the fact that you're turning down a deal where you got 600 million in public financing to start with, probably would result in close to $1 billion with land. The fact that you're turning that down is problematic and probably signals that he is likely to sell. He's already done the Tampa thing. Didn't work out. They're not going to play ball with him. He had a side on St. Pete that was willing to play ball with him, and then that relationship blew up in his face. So he's got nowhere to go. Major League Baseball isn't going to let him waste more of their time trying to find a home when he's had 15 plus years of doing this song and dance.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to tell him, if you're turning down a stadium in hand, which would start our expansion project, then get the hell out, buddy. That's just what it comes down to. Like, you got it. You're either in or you're out. So it seems like right now Stu's trying to just get the most for the franchise that he can, doing what he usually does, probably waiting to the last possible moment, trying to extract as much as he can. But there's a lot of smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I am expecting a sale to happen, or at least some sort of knowledge of what's going to happen at the end of the month with this franchise.
How much, if any, does this become a distraction for the players and the front office and the coaches? Or they're just going to keep doing their thing and whatever happens, happens?
Whatever happens, happens. Like, what's going to change for the players, right? The sale isn't going to – the sale will affect things long term, right? But it's going to take months and months to have that change over. So it's not like a boom, sold, we're outie. Um, Kevin Cash is still going to be the head coach. Eric Neander is still going to be the baseball ops guy. The players are still going to line up in Steinbrenner Field for 100, for 81 games and hit the road for another 81 and play. So for them, focus on the task, win baseball games. That's pretty much it. And then maybe the effects of this sale, one way or the other, are we start to feel them when the new ownership takes over. But we can cross that bridge when we get there. You don't know which way it's going to go. From a non-baseball side of things, I don't think Stu can have any more enemies from Rays fans. But from a baseball side of things, Stu has done a lot of good for the franchise. So at some point when the sale happens, we'll shift our focus away from finally Stu sold. A lot of Rays fans rejoicing about that to, all right, well, on the flip side of the coin, is the structure going to stay in place? Is everything that they built going to still last? So we'll see what happens there.
I think with, like you're saying, with the fandom, he hasn't gained any friends too. Would you tell me, in other sports, when this is kind of a conversation starter, do players get involved with quotes? Is the press asking them about, hey, what do you think about the stadium situation, all that? Like, because I do feel, and I know that the Tampa market might not be the biggest, when you're talking about scrums after a game or whatever, but is that question fair to ask players? Is it being asked to players, or should it just not even be asked?
I mean, we've talked about it with them. I mean, right now they don't have any, they don't know, right? They know they're looking on X just like some of us. So they have no idea what's going on with the sale. And certainly we asked them when we arrived at camp, like, how much did the off season affect you? Not only watching the Trop, but seeing everything that's going on. And they pretty much say, hey, like, we got group chats. We know what's going on. But as far as like what we got to get done day to day to win baseball games, like that doesn't cross our minds. We, just like we're, shooting the what right now, they're doing that too. But if a sale happens officially, yeah, we're gonna want to know their opinions as Stu and what their thoughts are on that. I think that question is very much in line. Just right now, there's nothing that they can provide. It's so above their pay grade. So, yeah, I mean, when the sale happens, we'll broach that subject again with the players. At this point, no answer is going to change. We've done it with the players. We've done it with Neander. We've done it with Cash before the season started. So until something changes from that situation, it's a little bit dormant right now.
Well, what's not dormant right now is Kevin's opinion on SupplyHouse. I think that's pretty active.
Yes, it is pretty active. And that's because at SupplyHouse, you can get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. And like I said, that's SupplyHouse. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, SupplyHouse is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest products info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Well, SupplyHouse offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. That's always nice. And for trade pros looking for that extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code S-H-5 for 5% off your first order. That's at supplyhouse.com. All right. Before moving on to another edition of Closky on the Clock, Evan, I want to ask you this. So if Stu ultimately sells the team to a group of new folks, new investors, do those new investors go back to St. Pete and Pinellas County to try to foster a deal that looks like it's going to get broken, or do they totally turn their attention to Hillsborough County, Tampa?
I cannot imagine that you're going to buy this team and not put the team in Tampa.
Okay.
Um, and there's a bunch of back channeling and stuff that you know you don't just take over the team and say, all right, let's get started. Like before you make this purchase, before you spend billions of dollars, you've already talked with people, you've already done some back channeling, you know what's possible, you know what the situation is when you enter, and then you got to go through the legal part of it of then putting some things in motion. But yeah, let's again, the wheels are in motion. We know that wheels are in motion. We had Rob Manfred meeting with DeSantis. How many? A few months ago.
Mhm.
So I don't know how many lunches Manfred's having with DeSantis on a regular basis, dropping by. So something's cooking, and but things are behind the scenes, and we just got to wait and be patient.
Well, you guys don't have to be patient because our favorite segment has come.
It's time for Closky on the clock.
Jazz hands. Always do the jazz hands.
Yes.
Ulises, you want to kick it off for Evan?
Yes, I do. So I saw this picture of a baseball diamond at the Buccaneer Stadium. And not going to lie, it was kind of cool. I didn't think I would think it would be, but it was pretty neat to see
I thought
that.
it was photoshopped, honestly.
It looks so fresh. I was like, my God, that's so insane how they can do that. Evan, did that picture, I don't know if you've even been there live yet, but and I don't know if you will, but did that picture kind of spark some, maybe something could be done here with the stadium?
No. If you look at the picture, it's cool. I can't wait for the Savannah Bananas to come into town. But it's like Ebbets Field dimensions here. You want to talk about a short porch and right? You got short porch and right, and then left field about like 700 feet away. So yeah, it's a stadium that's not built for baseball. You can't make baseball happen without putting some sort of fake fence in there, and you would have to tilt the field a little bit to not make right field so shallow. As much as I would love it, it's not doable. But it will be great for a weekend of banana ball, and it's great for pictures.
Yes. All right.
Fair enough.
All right. Speaking of the Savannah Bananas, do you see them as an entity that are going to continue to draw the hearts and minds for years and years, or is this that is going to go away relatively soon, or does this have some staying power for long term? Sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead.
they have the staying power. Like the fad thing went away years ago. Like they've proven that they're going to come into your city and they're going to take over your track. Like they sell out everywhere they go, and they are huge on TikTok and other social media platforms. They're going to always recruit new talent. They're always going to have the newest TikTok person as well. They've created a system that maybe maybe after a while the allure of it will go down a little bit, and maybe they're not getting full sellouts, but like the Harlem Globetrotters, a lot of people have seen them once in their life and they enjoy the show, so they come back, and they change the game and they create new rules. I don't see the Savannah Bananas going anywhere. They run a great ship, and I think we've passed the point of them saying like, oh, this won't work. Nah, it's going to work, and they're just going to think of other ways to make it work if it starts shifting in another direction.
Yeah, it seems like we finally have a globetrotter situation there in baseball with the Savannah Bananas. We mentioned it briefly last episode with Shane Boz. We here at Locked On Rays, we do not believe that spring stats matter or in any type of an indicator of what will happen in the season. However, have you seen something from Shane Boz that is giving you thoughts of concern, given he was kind of roughed up lately?
No, I mean, Shane Baz gets into trouble when he doesn't throw strikes. I will argue that the umpire didn't help him that day in Port Charlotte, but I mean, it's as simple as that. He got his innings in when he threw strikes. I mean, he got, they were ripping some singles here and there. It wasn't like things were getting parked over the fence. Um, ultimately, ultimately it comes down to throwing strikes, and he walked the farm in the first inning and then was just not there in the second. So whatever. Not a cause for concern. I'd be if his velo was down, if the pitch mix, which we didn't have any data for, looked like it was not looking right, then I would be concerned. But from everything that I've seen, heard, I haven't heard any issues stemming from that start. So it was just a stinker. It was just an absolute stinker.
Fair.
All right. Speaking of that, in starting pitchers, aside from Shane McClanahan, and maybe it is Shane Boz, but aside from Shane McClanahan, which Rays starter will put up the best numbers far and wide in 2025? Who will really cement themselves as the number two? Or even if they're not the number two, it's like, wow, this guy was our number two by concerns.
Man, I think it's a really tight. I really want to say Pepio and Taj, like they're 1 and 2. I would say actually Rasmussen probably has the nastiest stuff. I'm just not convinced that he's going to get, north of 100 innings. So then I default to Pepio and Taj. And Pepio, his stuff last year was eye-popping from a stuff plus standpoint. And his fastball is so dominant. He just tailed off into games a little bit. I think that was part of being young, that his stamina wasn't quite there. He'd get to the fifth, the control would get a little bit wonky. So if Pepio can really hone in on that control, I think he's a top of the rotation type of talent, like a good two right behind Shane McClanahan, and then Taj also has those abilities. Just want to see it consistently. We got some stretches. His first year when he was a rookie, and he took some lumps. We understood it. Last year was probably the most dominant pitcher in baseball for 2 months. Then a month went sideways. So I want to see him be able to go through the ups and downs a little bit quicker. Not have it take 4 or 5 starts to turn it one way or the other.
In order to go through the ups and downs quickly, you can do that at FanDuel, people. You can do that because March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. In fact, right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories. Whatever you got, you can do it. So today, do not delay. Visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Maybe you like Duke, like Evan. Maybe you don't like Duke, like Kevin. But you know what? You can do that determination at FanDuel.com and get started today.
All right, gentlemen. I know it's not a Friday, but we have Closky on the show, so why not? Some baseball trivia and name that WAR. In front of me, I have a question regarding career WAR for pitchers. There are 10 pitchers in MLB history, according to Baseball Reference, that have generated a WAR of at least 100. I want 4 of these names.
So only 10 pitchers in MLB history.
Are the old-timey guys like... Are we going to still go with like Walter Johnson?
Yeah.
Old-timey guys are not excluded from this list. So
Okay.
there are some old-timey guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Cy Young.
Cy Young is number 1 with 165.6 career WAR.
Walter Johnson's.
He is number 2 on this list with 154.2 career WAR.
Let's go with Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux is number 8 on the list with 104.8 career WAR.
That was close.
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson, number 9 on this list with 103.5 career WAR. Keep going until you get a strike.
Okay. We got 4 out of 10. Roger Clemens.
Number 3 on this list with 138.7.
Okay. 5 out of
Bob
10.
Gibson.
Yes.
Strike 1. And
Okay.
yeah, I mean, keep going if you want.
Nolan Ryan.
Strike 2.
All right.
Hold on a second. No, we won't go. Hold on a second.
Oh, what about
Negro?
do you like
No.
Tom Seaver?
Go Seaver.
Tom Seaver is on this list, number 7, 106.0.
Okay, maybe he didn't have enough time, but I mean, he was sick. Koufax, Evan, what do you think? Too little time?
I'm worried about the years.
Yeah, too little time. Like, because I think he had like 10, 12 years maybe at the most.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he would have
he
needed
like 10 war seasons.
Yeah.
Too little.
I'm just trying to go through the Hall of Fame.
Right.
You're not going to get all these names.
No.
All right, just go. Whatever. Just get.
Yeah, give it to us. What,
All right.
what do you
We
want?
won the game. We won.
We
the game.
won.
You won
yeah.
the game. You won the game. I set the
Let's not get
expectations
greedy.
low. Cy Young, Walter Johnson, Roger Clemens, Kid Nichols, Grover Alexander, Lefty Grove,
Groves.
Tom Seaver, Greg Maddux, Randy Johnson, and Christy Matheson.
Christy Matheson. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, we
Black
hit
and
our
white.
limit. Yeah.
Yeah, stop
the
while
old-timey
you're
people.
ahead.
Yeah, and that was good. Well, you know what? That was fun. And I hope that this version of Name That War is fun too. Name That War is where we take a player from the past and we try to guess their career war according to Baseball Reference, only using our baseball archive mind. And today's player from the past is a manager and a Rays legend. What's Davey Martinez' career war according to Baseball Reference?
Oh man, this is gonna be a bad one for me.
What do we think?
All right, I'll start
16,
off.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't even want to be affected by you. 16-5 done.
Okay.
Like just not even. Boom. In and out.
16.5.
16.5 is your guess. I think Davey Martinez played a decade in the league. He probably had a career average of like between 250 to 260. Might have had around 110, 120 home runs. Definitely did not win a Gold Glove. Just, I think, a solid journeyman type. Bottle all that up, and I'll say his career WAR is 11.5.
He played 16 years in the league, a slash line of 276, 341, 389. So he could get on base, just not a lot of pop. 730 OPS, a 95 OPS plus. He had 1,500 hits, actually 1,599 hits, 91 home runs. You bottle all that up, and Davey Martinez had a career WAR close, Evan, very close, 19.1.
There we go.
Not bad. Congratulations.
Hey, you got a dub.
Yeah, there we go. We got to keep track
After
of that.
my last time performance where I got absolutely shattered.
Oh, you know what? Let's really quickly, just off the hip, Ian Kinsler, career WAR.
Oh, probably off the hit. 41.2.
Okay, thank you. I underrated him. You underrated him less than I did. He was in the 50s, bro. I was like 28. No,
Oh no, I would
54.
have. Yeah,
Something like
if I
that.
would have, I mean, that was off the hip. If I would have gave
Yeah.
it some more thought, I might have been able to cork that number up a little bit.
Forgot how good he was, and I don't forget how good you are, Evan. Where can people find your fine work?
At Closky WTSP on the X. If you hit me up, I'll respond to 99.9% of you. The other 0.1% are for the jerks. Sorry. I block out them haters. But then you can, but we got a busy month here. Next week we got the Valspar Championship, March Madness also on 10 Tampa Bay, opening day for the Rays. After that, the following week, women's Final Four the following week after that to begin April. So make sure you're on 10tampabay.com, 10 Tampa Bay Plus. Stream us, 10 Tampa Bay app, Fire Stick, Roku, all that fun stuff, and just keep tabs of us as we're going to be really busy leading up to the end of April when we finally get the Lightning playoffs. So that would be fun.
Sounds good. All right. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you later.